if it will be ever well proven that President Trump, escaped the war criminal Putin, the drunk war criminal Putin beating and abusing and raping Ukraine because Putin has some blonde genes, blood, even though he has no um, narrow and short forehead, he's not pretty foreheadless Viking, if it will be proven well, not only suggested by politicians, leaders, that he shocked the world trying to occupy Greenland, a Danish, a Viking land, like him, like his grandmother, uh, because he could clearly foreseen the shock and the opposition of the world, knowing that Denmark is not a communist, is a NATO and EU country, and such occupation cannot be tolerated. It will for sure cause opposition to escape Putin, hearing of plans of invading the invader, if it will be ever proven that he assaulted principles, ideologies, symbols, the Congress, and assaulted the European mentality, the traitor, the communist, the proven communist Orban, who used to violate the fundamental political identity of the European Union, the fundamental core values, democratical core values of the European Union, the entire parliament opposing the vote of the majority of the parliament, of the European Parliament, to withdraw the voting rights of the traitor and saboteur and intimidator, uh, foreheadless, pretty much long and foreheadless Viktor Orban, the rule of the foreheadless Vikings and Huns, if it will be even proven that he raped the American Congress and the European Parliament mentality, and he tried, and his anti-Mexican fence, high fence, could be correlated with the genocidal anti-Romanic dreams of Ridley Scott, who is not foreheadless, is half Japanese blood. If it will ever be proven that he laundered some billions to alone to futile projects, while he was arguing for the occupation of Greenland, because the routes, the economical routes, commercial routes are shorter, and that makes money, will the routes uh, to the dead planet, to Mars, where the soil is dead, where the gravitation is weak, where the distance, the route is astronomic, if it will be proven everything, he could be not only he should lose immediately power once somebody understand and can explain to the Americans, make them believe, think, understand explicitly this elitism, that behind the American democracy is the rule of Vikings, foreheadless, and most Americans are not Vikings. Most Brits are not Vikings. Brits were beaten and raped and humiliated and robbed and ruled by Vikings. Brits are not Vikings. The Scandinavian peninsula has no R1b haplogroup, has E1, and the Finnish, the Tatar, N haplogroup, and R1A, the Russian haplogroup. Uh, so the main haplogroup of the Brits is by far, by more than 60% R1B. They are not Vikings. Most Brits are not Vikings. If it will be proven that his anti-Mexican venture it can be correlated with the genocidal dreams of Ridley Scott and with his support for the Russian drunk raper of Ukraine, he could end up the same by the judgment of his own people, because most Americans are not Vikings. Most Brits are not Vikings, and more. In the fight for power, they will use everything against him and his descendants. I never read anything political significantly impressive written by them, except an article on Bitcoin, on some cryptocurrency, written by his tall, blonde descendant son. He indeed read something on crypto, but otherwise we cannot remember much about his presidency except his tariffs against China, even against Europe. He turned his tariffs against everybody. He assaulted the Congress. The war on terrorists, the war in Iran, that was led by Pete Hegseth, not by him. And these anti-terrorist wars were begun by Tony Blair and George W. Bush. Uh, so, from the presidency of Barack Obama, we can remember the capture of Osama bin Laden and the Obamacare, the Medicare, Obamacare. And from the presidency, he never impressed us with core values, with principles, with ideologies. Never. He tried to fight globalism, to isolate USA. Nothing general, nothing ideological, nothing principle, nothing cultural. If it can be proven, he sold the American doorbell language and the culture and American democracy and everything for Putin's blonde hair, then he can be followed even by his Americans and judge at last if in his madness he could support even the assassination of my mother for the Halas, Hunik Halas has is foreheadless like him.